Continuing in my quest to make you all think that I have a screw loose, you want to talk about Dear Evan Hansen? Did you forget what that is? It's one of the funnier sequences in Broadway history. The musical came out, and the cast recording went through my social circle like a virus. Everyone didn't love it, but a lot of them really did. One straight male friend confessed to ugly crying while listening to it. My wife enjoyed it, but it didn't become a new favorite. I never really cared for it, mainly because that's not a style of music that I particularly enjoy. But it was a Broadway smash and won a bunch of Tonys. It was the musical of the year. I had friends who had never been to a Broadway show buy season tickets to our local Broadway affiliated theater because Evan Hansen was coming that year. My first real exposure to the plot was about 4 years after its premiere. My wife and I were driving up to a baby moon, and after 2 of the songs came up on her Broadway Pandora station, I asked what the story even was, and she said she didn't actually know. So she looked it up on Wikipedia and read it out loud. We agreed it was a little dark and odd, but that was about the end of it for me. But then, the musical's history should be studied because one decision absolutely destroyed it. That decision was to cast the original Broadway lead as the movie's lead, and we suddenly had a realization about the story. There's the meme about how the difference between romantic and creepy is based solely on how attractive or wealthy the man involved is, and that's kind of what this movie showed. While Ben Platt is not ugly, he's supposed to be 17, and while I'm older than him, period, I think I look younger now than he did then. As long as I'm wearing this hat and hiding my receding hairline. He's a 26-year-old who looked to be in his mid-30s, and it did not help that the actress he's pursuing looked 17. So that made everyone, a little uncomfortable. But it also made people realize that everything Evan Hansen does is kind of messed up. A family tragedy accidentally brings him into the orbit of a grieving family who thinks he had a deeper relationship with their son than he really did, which he then takes advantage of and starts dating the daughter. He's a sociopath that the song's made us sympathize with. That is a feat in itself. I didn't say they were badly written. I just said they're not my preference. If you want a really good laugh about this whole thing, look up Jenny Nicholson's video about this movie. It's great. I'll link it below. But casting Platt made everyone realize this, and the musical's popularity absolutely cratered. No one talks about it anymore. And that was 5 years ago. So now, naturally, it's the time to make a video about it. I'm a marketing genius. But here's why I wanted to make a video about a musical that coincidentally offed itself. It's a secret remake, and it's one of those bad remakes where the original is just much better. Dear Evan Hansen is a gender-swapped remake of the Sandra Bullock, Bill Pullman rom-com While You Were Sleeping. It's not a one-to-one, but it has a very similar setup and plot thread. Both have a family tragedy that leads the family to thinking the lead was closer to their son/brother than they actually were. They invite the lead into their lives because of this, and the lead falls in love with the victim of the tragedy's sibling. What's interesting, though, is that even after the fallout realization that Evan is creepy, While You Were Sleeping is still pretty loved. Now, why is that? Some may argue, and I can see why they would, that Lucy has the advantage of being a woman and Sandra Bullock. That is fair. There's a much larger range of odd/stalkerish behavior women can exhibit before we label them creepy, and Sandra Bullock's charisma is frankly highly underrated. If you're supposed to like her, dadgum, you're gonna. But there's more to it than that. Sleeping makes some very different choices. For one, the character that brings Lucy into the family isn't dead. He's just in a coma, so that's already happier? But there's another main difference. In Sleeping, someone in the family actually knows Lucy's secret. Everyone thinks she's the son's fiancé, but Godfather Saul knows the truth, and she knows that he knows. She's actually planning to tell everyone, but he tells her that the grandmother's heart couldn't take that kind of a shock, so she should let him do it. This takes it off of her shoulders for continuing the ruse. She was told to by someone in the circle that it would be taken care of, and she grows increasingly frustrated with him dragging his feet. This is a huge difference because now it's not her and her selfishness keeping her in, it's someone in the family's fault. And that's another change. Lucy has no family. Her mother died when she was young, and her dad died a year before. She's completely alone, and she likes being part of the family because, like Evan, she enjoys having a family that really starts loving her. Her lack of a family, though, helps her avoid Evan's secondary reprehensible act, which is trading his mother in for what he sees as a better family. The romance is better, too. Rather than using the death to get close to the sibling that Lucy falls in love with, she's supposed to be engaged to the coma guy. His name's Peter. I don't know why I haven't labeled him yet to make my life easier. That's why we invented names in the first place. So she's supposed to be engaged to Peter, So while she's falling in love with his brother, his name is Jack. What am I doing to myself? She can't actually push anything with Jack because that would be completely unacceptable. Meanwhile, he's falling for her because of who she is, not because she's a way to feel closer to his brother, which is so much healthier. You'll see me next time if you subscribe. Bye. Geez, after that, I didn't even use their names again.